Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner like.
All right. Hello, everybody. It is Monday, June 16th, 2025, and this is the Monday Report. I'm your host, H. James K., and today, I don't really have a script today because, to be honest with you, I'm recording this on the Sunday after the 24 hours of Le Mans, and I've had about 2 hours of sleep total. So I'm really exhausted. I'm too tired to even write up a plan for this episode. So we're gonna talk about IndyCar and the things that I've learned about racing that IndyCar should learn from the 24 hours of Le Mans. And I know that sounds like a weird topic to talk about, but you'll see what I mean anyway. So, I've talked in the past about the myriad issues with IndyCar racing, the lack of decisive leadership, the lack of aggression and vision, the unwillingness to spend money, delaying the car, no new engine manufacturers, bad scheduling, bad sponsorship deals, low attendance, disappointing television ratings, on and on and on and on and on. And I'm not going to rehash those ideas. Not really. But watching the 24 Hours of Le Mans told me that the thing that IndyCar needs to do is something that IndyCar has never done. And that is embrace the fact that it's okay if the racing is boring if it means there's more manufacturer input. Like, well, IndyCar is a spec series and they got the same car and all the engines are the same and blah, 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 and it makes closer racing. The overall health of the series is in decline. Whereas the World Endurance Championship, you've got McLaren is coming in, you've got Aston Martin, Peugeot, Porsche, Ferrari, you've got all of these, Alpine, Toyota, Cadillac, you've got all of these manufacturers who are allowed to build their own car and allowed to build their own engines and all the, as long as there's BOP, to balance of performance, to keep them all similar. IndyCar needs to embrace that. They need to make a new car that, here is the tub, here's the car, the engine is not a stressed member, and you can put whatever engine you want in there as long as it fits within these dimensions, and it has X amount of power. That's it. Oh, and it has to fit this hybrid or whatever. That's what they need to do, because seeing Corvette and AMG and McLaren and all these other ones in the LMGT3 class, or the hypercars or the LMP2s, everyone's got different engines and bodies and all this stuff, and it's one of these things where this is what IndyCar needs. IndyCar needs to say, you can run whatever the hell you want, as long as it fits into this space in this car. You want to run a 4-liter V8 that revs to 8,000 RPM that sounds like a NASCAR? Cool, welcome to IndyCar. You want to run a 2.65-liter V10 engine that revs to 18,500 RPM? Well, welcome to IndyCar racing. As long as you got 850 horsepower and you can fit this hybrid system onto it, you can do whatever you want. That's what you need to do. You need to allow the manufacturers to build whatever fucking engine they want. If Honda wants to run the 2.4-liter engine that they're planning for IMSA, cool. If Chevrolet wants to bring a frickin' 6.2-liter V8 like they got in the damn Corvette, cool. That's what you wanted. That's what you got to do. If Mazda wants to bring a 4-cylinder, or Toyota, or anything, whatever these automakers want to bring, that's what they need to be allowing them to do. And say, we'll do testing before the season, and we'll equal out the engines a little bit, whether that's fuel flow or a little bit of extra weight or whatever, but that's the secret. Because right now, IndyCar has just delayed the car again. Now, the 2027 car is going to be the 2028 car. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So, supposedly the car is right on schedule, ready for 2027. But IndyCar hasn't been able to nail down the new engine regulations. So they need another year because the engine manufacturers need an extra 18 months of runway to build enough engines to run the IndyCar series with full complement of everyone, its teams and engines and everything. What are we doing? What are you doing? Why is this still a thing? You've had almost a decade, over a decade. What am I saying? Formula One has had 3 rule changes. NASCAR's had 3. Formula E has had 4. WEC has had a whole bunch. IMSA. Everyone has changed multiple times, usually every 5 years, if not less. And then there's IndyCar, who's going on like 16 years. 16. Part of it is COVID messed everything up. Without COVID, we probably have a new car and a new engine by now. But the series panicked and balked and has been kind of turtle shell, and Roger Penske doesn't like to take a lot of risks, and he's got people, ignorant, incompetent buffoons like Mark Miles in charge of the series and everything. But it's one of these things where make a decision and stick with it. Even if it means Honda leaves, make a decision. If you want to be a 4-cylinder 500 horsepower with a 400 horsepower hybrid, then that's what you want to be. You want to be quick and dirty, big V8 engines like the V8, like the IRL. Cool, that's what you're going to be. But pick something. Don't just stay the same, because the engine formula we have right now isn't attractive. It's not relevant. It's too expensive, and it doesn't really do anything that anyone wants it to do. It's blasé. It's boring. It's expensive. Get rid of it. Open things up. And if you want to open up the car development as well, fine. Keep Dallara on as like, yeah, you can make this chassis or you can build your own. And yeah, most drivers will use a Dallara. And then you'll have like Ferrari come in and Ferrari will build their own car. Or McLaren will design their own car. Or Peugeot or whatever. Or Honda. Whoever wants to build their own car can build their own car and put their own engine in it. And you can get more manufacturers and more interest and more and more and more. Because that's ultimately what IndyCar so desperately needs. It's what the 24 Hours of Le Mans and IMSA and the World Endurance Championship, it's what they have. They have discovered that you have to just create a rule set and allow the manufacturers to come to you. You cannot try to woo the manufacturers to think like you do, because quite frankly, IndyCar is too small. No one is ever going to want to do IndyCar where you're going to have to do a 2.2 liter twin turbo V6 and it's got to have these mounting points and blah 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 blah. No, that's never going to work. You have got to allow them to do what they want in your platform. Because it's the Indy 500. You're telling me you can't convince Porsche or Ferrari or Aston Martin or Mazda or Honda or Toyota to build an IndyCar engine if it's whatever engine they want to run? If they want to run a 3-liter V6 or a 3-liter V8 or a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, as long as it meets the power target, who gives a shit? Now, part of the problem for IndyCar is they insist on doing this old 1990s model where you got to chip in advertising money and sponsor cars and events and all this other stuff. Ditch that. It's time IndyCar spends their own money on their own advertising and promotions and lets the manufacturers be manufacturers. Because right now, things aren't working out. And this is totally a rant, but it's one of these things where it frustrates me to see other series get more manufacturers. Like Dodge just announced that they're joining the NASCAR Truck Series, and it looks like they might be eyeing a NASCAR Cup Series bid. And there's all the rumors that Honda is going to leave IndyCar and join NASCAR. And Formula One is getting Audi and Porsche and Ford, kind of, sorta. And Formula E's got 1,000 different manufacturers. And then there's IndyCar just twisting in the wind, hoping to not drown beneath the waves and all this other stuff this time. It's like IndyCar is there was a shipwreck, and IndyCar is the lone man holding on to a piece of scrap wood, hoping that he doesn't slip off the wood and drown in the ocean, never to be seen again. Everyone else has found a way to get on a lifeboat and get on, but he's just clutching to his piece of driftwood because he's too afraid to take a risk and try to save himself. He's just gonna sit there and float in the water and hope that he doesn't get tired and drown. And ultimately what's gonna happen is he's gonna drown. Because indecision is death. Indecision is death. Alright, that's all I'm gonna talk about IndyCar. Let's move on to other things, because other things have happened in sports. So the Orlando Magic decided, fuck them picks. F them picks. Oh my god. For Desmond Bain, they gave up Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Cole Anthony and like 3 of their own first-round picks, and they're swapping another and then swapping another one. It's like, I don't understand NBA GMs right now. Like, the Luka Doncic trade is another one. What is up with the NBA's, like, blow it up every 3 years, screw them picks, all that matters is you have a superstar. It's like the teams that win the championships don't build their roster that way, and yet the Mavericks did it with Luka, and now the Orlando Magic have done it. It's one of these things that it blows my mind, because you would never see an NFL GM say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to trade Saquon Barkley to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 4th-round pick and a couple of bottle caps. No one would do that. But yet the Dallas Mavericks did that. Or this Desmond Bain trade. What are they doing? You can't tell me all of those picks won't be worth more in the long run than Desmond Bain will be next year. I mean, yeah, you might need a piece in next year, but you're sacrificing the entire future of your franchise for someone who I've never even heard of. And now, yeah, I know I'm not a hardcore NBA guy, but I've never even heard of Desmond Bain. I had to freaking look him up. Still don't know who he is. And yet, the NBA, and these NBA teams, it's just like, they just seem to like react on impulse. It's ready, fire, aim. It's just do whatever you do to get a headline to keep your job, because everyone's getting fired and everyone's trading places and moving around, and there's just no roster building anymore. I don't know. It's one of these things where I don't understand the thinking of NBA GMs anymore, where I'm going to trade my best superstar for nothing. I'm not going to field. I know I could get a king's ransom for him, but I'm not going to, because I just want to secretly trade him and be done with it, because he's quote-unquote not good at defense and this and that and the other thing. And it's like, all you've done is break the heart of Dallas Mavericks fans everywhere. Congratulations, you played yourself. And for the Orlando Magic, this isn't going to make them better. They're not going to be better next year. They're going to be just as mediocre and rudderless as they were. And down the road, they're like, oh man, what happened to all of our first round picks? Well, you traded them away for someone who isn't going to make a difference. And considering this has kind of become the most ranty episode ever, and we're just kind of going from one topic to another off the cuff, let's now pivot back to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I watched all but 2 hours of it. Yeah, I stayed up until 6:30 in the morning, and then I took a freaking 3-hour, like, oh god, I don't even know. It was like 6:30 in the morning when I went to bed, and I watched like all but 2 hours, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up at like 8:45 or whatever, and watched a little bit more, and then fell back asleep, and then finally I caught like the very. I missed like 3 hours of it. But other than that, Ferrari won. And not just Ferrari, customer Ferrari. AF Corsa won the 24 Hours of Le Mans hypercar category, and it's the first time a customer Ferrari team has won the race over a works Ferrari team since like 1932. Which may or may not be the first year that the race even happened. I don't know for sure. Don't, sue me. I don't know for sure. But that blows my mind. And I remember the race. It was interesting how, going into the race, I was predicting that, attrition was going to be a thing, and BMW was going to swoop in and win it. And BMW was never a threat. Toyota was. Cadillac had horrible luck and was just gone. Peugeot got so many pit speeding violations, and Aston Martin was nowhere. But then again, I guess this was the first year that Aston Martin's been in Le Mans, so you can kind of give them the slack on that one. But it was interesting watching the race because there were times where the Porsches would just be gone, and then all of a sudden the Ferraris are just catching up to them, passing them, and driving away. And this happened several times where it was just clear that while the Ferrari may not be better on super technical turn courses, but on a track like Le Mans where you've got long straights that require aerodynamics and power, that Ferrari is bad fast. It is so fast in a straight line. It up to 10 miles an hour faster than some of its other contemporaries, which blew my mind. It was one of these things where you kind of got the impression that one of the 3 Ferrari hypercars was going to win the race. You had that, like, there was times where they were just leading 1, 2, 3, Ferrari. And there were ups and downs and twists and turns, and things were like someone made a strategic blunder or there was a penalty, but in the end, the Ferraris always made it back to the front. Now, interestingly enough, AF Corsa Ferrari won instead of Ferrari AF Corsa, which I don't know why the teams basically have the same name but in different orders, but the Works Ferrari team messed up. It happened sometime when I was asleep. I went to sleep and Ferrari AF Corsa, the Works team, was in the front, and then I wake up and it's the final lap and AF Corsa Ferrari, the customer team, is winning. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. Either way, I was so happy for Robert Kubica, the Polish driver, former Formula One guy. Almost had a Ferrari seat before a crash kind of ended his Formula One career. I was so happy to see him get an overall win. It was a nice moment. First 3 hours of the race were a banger. Now, the final 21 hours were okay, but that first 3 hours was awesome. Everyone super close together, slicing and dicing and strategy. It was some good stuff. Man, it's hard to stay up and watch all of the Le Mans. I had it on my phone, or I was listening to it on the radio while running errands, or I had a little window of it on my computer, or I had it on the TV at some points. It's like you just kind of have it on in the background, and if you see anything big happen, you tune in, and then you tune back out and go back to whatever you were doing. But it's hard to stay up for the whole thing. Now, when I was younger, God, I hate that I could say that now, but when I was younger, I could, but not anymore. Now, if I had had some caffeine last night, I could have easily, but I don't know, I just didn't, and it was so hard, and I'm so freaking tired. I've had a headache all day. And it's a headache that it's because I'm tired. I thought it was a migraine. It's not. I thought it was a tension headache. It's not. I'm just tired. So, even still, though, as a motorsports diehard, I love the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's so awesome. It's just such a different race than the IndyCar or Formula One stuff that I normally watch. I love it. It's so different. I would love to see what an IndyCar could do at the Circuit de la Sarthe. I think that'd be really cool. Now, whether they were faster than the hypercars, I doubt it. But you never know. You never know what an IndyCar can do on a track like that. But maybe we need a Garage 56 entry one of these years. I think it'd be kind of cool. But it's one of these things where I love it. Even though I feel like crap the next day, every year I'm going to tune in and I'm going to watch the crap out of that race and hate myself for doing it, but enjoying it all the same. I love it. All right. This was a really rudderless, pointless, kind of meandering, ranty episode, and I'm just going to end it there because it's 9:15 in the evening on Sunday. I can barely stay awake. I need to go to bed. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere that podcasts are available, thank you. Like or subscribe or whatever you can do. I don't know. Please tell your friends, tell your family, spread the word of the podcast. For those of you listening and watching on YouTube, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications, feed the algorithm, spread the word, and help the channel grow. We're still hanging strong on the official YouTube channel, which is the Monday Report with H. James K. We're still hanging tough at 8 subscribers. Hopefully we can get to 10 before July. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe we can get to 50 subscribers by the end of the year. I think that'd be kind of cool on YouTube. Either way, my name is H. James K. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time.